What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. This is living in Colorado Springs and I am Alicia Armendariz. Today's topic is just something I've been getting asked a lot about, especially at the beginning of this year, and that is, are home prices going to drop in 2023? And real quick, the answer is yes and no. And this isn't clickbait. I'm going to explain to you why in this video as to why they may or may not, they may not continue anymore, but you're going to understand why hopefully after this video. So if you guys have any questions over anything that I mentioned, please feel free to reach out to me. I am a licensed broker here in the state of Colorado, and I would love to help you with your real estate needs. Feel free to reach out to that phone number and email address, call, text, or even leave something in the comments, and I promise I'll get back to you. And if you could, hit that subscribe button and bell to get notified when I make new videos each week on everything that is living in Colorado Springs. So it's the beginning of the year, and this is where a lot of people kind of start picking back up their home search or starting their home search because they want to make that move in the springtime. Springtime is always just across the US a pretty busy time for people to be buying and selling, but a lot of people for the past year, past 2 years have been holding off on buying because of the just number of buyers out there, the competition, the appraisal gaps, all the craziness that you guys heard about in the news and the media. It was a thing, but this year, if you're still wanting to buy, are you wondering if home prices are going to drop? And to kind of recap, this summer and fall, when interest rates were rising at one of the quickest rates we've ever seen, they started touching around that 6% and 7%. And that was a huge difference from what we were seeing kind of during 2020 and 2021 when they were around like 2% or even 3%. So as it started to rise this past summer and fall, it definitely squeezed out a lot of buyers, as you guys heard me talk about in other videos. But a lot of sellers also felt that they were missing the bubble. They started seeing their neighbor's home that was for sale maybe sit on the market a little bit longer. They were maybe talking to an agent and hearing that homes were just overall sitting on the market a little bit longer because there were less buyers out there because the interest rates had gone up and were kind of just making it a little harder for them to make that monthly payment when purchasing a home. I will say sellers weren't really missing the bubble. They just were noticing that homes were sitting on the market a little bit longer than usual. And that was just something that even agents hadn't recently seen. Realtors and sellers were just not used to seeing homes sit on the market as long as they had. And also buyers who were still out and about shopping. They were also curious as to why these homes are sitting on the market. And it's not because there's anything wrong with the home in particular, there was just less competition. There were less buyers out because of those raised interest rates. So it wasn't a missed opportunity by sellers by any chance. It was just that it was something new. We hadn't experienced that in the past couple of years. So there was no bubble to be missed. It was just relearning the market and relearning how the market was shifting. And that's going to be really important this coming 2023, because not to knock realtors in my area or just in general, but the average realtor across the US does an average of 3 deals a year. 3, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But it kind of became a situation this fall where as interest rates were a little high, around that 6 or 7%, and sellers were maybe hurrying to get their home on the market, thinking they missed that opportunity. They were just maybe being educated wrong by certain agents in town, or just living kind of in the mindset that was 2 years ago, where I'm gonna price my house really high, and I know negotiations are gonna come, and so I'm gonna get negotiated down to where I want to be. And that's just not what we were seeing this fourth quarter, and what we were seeing from buyers who were still out there, who were trying to swing the higher interest rates, but still, if they're out here gonna buy, they want a good product. So coming this year, I think we're just gonna see a lot more agents kind of, if they haven't learned it in their career yet, they're gonna be learning that you can't price super high. You kind of can't get real greedy, and you gotta even learn what comps to really use when pricing a home. It's very important that you actually choose an agent that is experienced, that does, X amount of deals a year, or just understands the market and can be able to explain it to you, to really understand the data, to know what we're seeing, to be embraced in it, to have those conversations with other agents on a regular basis, to understand like what is really going on, what are buyers and sellers really looking for. And I think having that knowledge of an agent is going to be really beneficial in just the whole buy and sell process from both sides. So a lot of ways that We used to go about pricing a home with comps and market trends is going to be even more important, but not just comps. Where are you getting your comps? From how long ago? Was it, from recently? Was it from a year previously before COVID? Was it a year where market trends were similar and interest rates were the same? There's a lot of different things that are going to go into pricing a home. And I think overall, if sellers can have a realistic expectation from their agents as to just what the market is doing and what to expect from their homes and from buyers out and about, home prices are going to start being priced more realistically to market value. Now, a couple years ago when appraisal gaps were a thing and people were just throwing money at a home and it was going over list price by hundreds of thousands or just thousands of dollars, yes, technically, if someone is willing to pay X amount of dollars for a home, that home price gets recorded in county records and that does become a comp for the neighborhood, and that is what the market says the home is worth. Realistically though, that's not a true market value because there are a lot of variables that played into that didn't make it true. I know you guys have been around town and you've seen like a hole in the wall and it cost $500,000 or more. So that's just not going to be a thing this year. Sellers do still have a lot of equity in their home. They're not losing equity, but they do have equity to help buyers pay for closing costs and buy down rates. So seller concessions are a big thing and definitely a way that sellers are helping their house get sold a little quicker. But it's just going to be more realistic that if interest rates do continue to hover around 5% or 6%, we're going to see more of a healthy, stable market. Homes are going to be sitting on the market month and a half, maybe even 2 months. Is kind of what we're seeing right now at the beginning of 2023. And that is healthy. You have a healthy number of buyers out looking. You also have a healthy number of sellers that are selling right now. And sellers also aren't going to just be giving away their home. A lot of sellers are in their home at a really good interest rate. Either they bought when it was really low or they were already in a home and they just refinanced and they got a great refinance rate. So sellers aren't just ready to just throw their home away for free. You're not going to see someone get real spooked and was already kind of thinking of selling and then put it on the market and just give it away for a super low price. That's not going to be the case because they do still have to turn around and then buy something. And they're going to have the same situation of still hoping, that they can maybe get seller concessions if the interest rates are a little bit more than they desire. But it's kind of that give and pull. There's a lot of variables to it, and everybody's situation is so different. I could get very in depth, which I do, with everybody's own financial situation, personal situation, what you're trying to do. But it is still very doable. Just overall, with sellers and more agents just understanding the market and being realistic of where their home is going to be sitting and how they're going to have to move through maybe price reductions, maybe not. Just honestly starting off on the right foot with truer comps and truer variables that reflect the market trends. I think you're going to see home prices come on the market a lot lower than what we have been used to seeing, but it's also going to be more of a reflection of staying at that price for a month, maybe 2 months, and having a buyer come in and truly love the home, not just like the home a few years ago, but love this home now and possibly offer list price maybe a little bit more, because with those seller concessions or just sellers knowing that you got to put a good product on the market now, I think there's going to be an equal give and take between buyers and sellers for, yep, I'm willing to pay your list price because you put a good product on the home and you're willing to compromise with me on inspections and whatever else there is. So just in conclusion, yes, we're going to see home prices come down, but not continually come down within multiple price reductions. We're going to just see homes come on the market at a reasonable price, but it just happens to stay at that reasonable price. And that reasonable price is probably just a little bit lower than what we are used to seeing in some of those neighborhoods. I know a lot of that can get kind of confusing and can be a lot to just take in. And like I said, there are a lot of variables that go into everybody's each individual real estate need. So It's not black and white. It's not one way or the other. It's not a yes and no. It's always, what is your situation? What are you trying to achieve with your real estate goals? And I love to talk to you guys more about that in depth. It makes a lot more sense when it's a one-on-one. And so if you guys do have any questions over anything that I mentioned or how this data applies to you and your situation, please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I am a licensed broker here in the state of Colorado, and I would love to help you with your real estate needs. If you could, hit that subscribe button and bell to get notified when I make new videos each week on everything that is living in Colorado Springs.